All right, so first off, I want to say thank you to Toro for sending me these. They did provide these, however, this is not sponsored. They're not paying me. This is an honest review, and I cannot wait to give you my honest review. Yep, blades are sharp. So the first thing I want to say that this is not a first impressions review. This is a full review, and so I wanted to get some good use out of these machines before I gave you a review. I didn't want to do a review based off the first mow, and there's a good reason why. The first time I mowed, I was going to review, and I filmed it, and so I want to show you some of that, and then I want to talk about it. Get my tape measure here, and oh, that's already at 4 3/4. We won't worry about that. And 11 inches. That is 11 inches. This one's even bigger. Oh man, not that we're comparing sizes or anything. So I'm gonna be honest with you, so far I'm not very impressed. Maybe it's just because I'm bagging it, and I know it's overgrown, but I would think bagging it would help because I never have this issue with my Time Master. But if you look, there are lines of clippings everywhere, and it's just shooting these clippings out all over the place, which is not good. I'm gonna have to get it up because I got all these spots I just seeded, and that will smother my new grass. So then whenever I turn around on the sidewalk, it shoots all these clippings out all over the sidewalk, and whenever I bag with my Time Master, I've never had that issue. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. So let's do a little bit more, and we'll see, make some adjustments, and we'll see if that helps. There's still lines of clippings everywhere. So I don't know. I don't know. So as you saw there, I was not impressed with this mower the first time I used it, but it wasn't really fair. I was mowing, the grass obviously was up to 9 inches in some spots, and that's something I want to bring up, is that any battery powered mower, no matter if it's Toro or if it's a different mower, car, any battery powered mower, Toro, any other mower, they're not designed to be used every other week or every 3 weeks and chop down tall, thick grass consistently. They're just not going to do well. That's not what this is for. They are for people who are going to continue maintaining their lawn, kind of like I do. I mow every 3 or 4 days, and that is what we're doing here. This is the 3rd day after I mowed, and so I want to do another review and show you what I think using it for normal maintenance mows. Let's see. Yep. So as you see here, I've got the full Toro Flex Force 60 volt system. I got the mower, trimmer, blower, hedge trimmers, and so I'm just gonna do my mow flow. I'm gonna go through and do exactly like I would do. I'm gonna start with my trimming, mowing, blowing, and then I might do some edging at the end. However, I wanna talk about each as we go. So this right here is the trimmer. It comes with a 2.5 amp hour battery, and this thing, I really like this trimmer. It's very quiet. One thing I really like about this is it actually has 2 settings. It's got the 1 setting, which you just saw, and it's got a 2 setting, which is kind of like a supercharged. Here's the 1, and 2. And so that 1 setting is really good if you're just, trimming it just lightly, keeping up with maintenance. If you do it, trim once, twice a week. However, the 2 setting is actually really good if you have overgrown, thick grass. It does a really good job of cutting through it, as you see here. I let my lawn go because I'd overseeded, and it had been 3 weeks since I had mowed. It does a really good job cutting tall, overgrown grass. Another thing I really like is that this comes standard with a bump feed head on here, and so as this thing is spinning, all you have to do is tap this part right here on the ground, and it will shoot more line out. So there is one issue that I have with this trimmer right here. It's the only issue that I've had so far, is that it spins clockwise. My gas powered Echo trimmer, and I believe all straight shaft gas powered trimmers spin counterclockwise. So with my gas powered trimmer, I am right-handed, so I hold my trimmer always on my right side, and so I prefer to walk like this as I'm trimming the bed edges here. And so having the trimmer at an angle this way already gives me an advantage, and then spinning clockwise, it throws all the clippings out into the lawn and I get none in the bed. Clockwise, I have to go this way. I'm still right-handed, so I still have to hold this on my right side. Angle of the trimmer is actually facing towards the bed, so even though it is spinning that way and throwing the clippings that way, there are still some clippings getting into the bed. And so if you are left-handed and you can hold it this way, this is going to be very good for you. It's not throwing all the clippings in the bed. I still think this thing is awesome. It only is an issue really when edging beds. Man, those edges are tight. Woohoo! So crafty. I would like to see an attachment series where you can take that off and add an edger, just for those of you who like to edge with a stick edger. All right, so next up we have the Toro Recycler. This is a 22-inch deck. Battery is either 6 amp hour or you can get a 7.5 amp hour battery. Obviously the 7.5 amp hour battery will be a little stronger. One thing I want to point out right away, this is the same deck they use on their gas-powered recycler. This is a steel deck, very sturdy. A lot of battery-powered mowers come with plastic decks. This thing is going to be pretty darn durable. So as you can see here, this thing has 4-point height adjustment. Each wheel is adjustable, and I know some people like the ease of just having one lever right here that raises the entire deck. I personally prefer to have the front wheels about a 1/2 inch or just 1 notch above the back wheels. I feel like I get a cleaner cut. I don't know the science behind that. I just think I get a cleaner cut that way. Some people like to drop one side that they're going to put on the sidewalk and then run it over the edges to give kind of that beveled edge look. I prefer my edges straight up and down, but I could see the appeal to that. Now, like I said, this thing is all battery, no other components to it, no gas, so you don't have to do that dreaded walk of shame. Ran out of gas. Walk of shame. The only thing you have to do is keep the battery charged. You're going to lift this compartment. All you do, slide it right in here, click it in place, and you're good to go. I would like to see Toro do, I believe the Ego has this, is it has a see-through cover right here, and the battery is actually at an angle instead of straight up and down like this, so that while you're mowing you can actually see the status of the battery charge without turning off the mower, without moving. You can see it right there. This right here is probably one of my favorite features on the Recycler series. I don't understand why every single mower doesn't have this. It has this lever right here. Right now we're set to bag mode, but you can just push this, lift up, and you're ready to mulch or recycle. So push it down, put your bag on, ready to go. You don't have to have a separate mulch plug. My Time Master and the Super Recycler both have a separate mulch plug you have to remove if you want a bag, and then you have to put it back in if you want to mulch. So if somebody is watching this and you know the advantage of having a mulch plug that you have to remove, let me know. But if not, I just don't get it. It comes with this key right here. You just put it in this slot. Oh yeah. Push the button and then you pull back on this and your box fan's running. Just kidding, but it does sound like a box fan. As you can see, I mean, this is cutting very, very nice, and there's not really any clippings being left. That's how small they're being cut up. So we're not cutting a ton off, but this is how I normally mow. This is what I think everybody needs to do: mow every 3 to 4 days, so you're just not cutting a ton off. That's how you're going to have the best looking grass. I'm going to throw the bag on here because I want to redeem this thing from the last time I used it with the bag when it wasn't sucking anything up, because I was mowing too much off, and I want to see how it does mowing like I normally mow. This thing does have a mulching blade, so it cuts very well. But I'm also going to time the battery, see how long the battery lasts, and we're going to run it until it's dead. Let's do it. don't wave. That's fine. Yep, you too. People are really friendly. Alright, so this is why I did not want to do a review on initial impressions on that first mow. So this is cutting nice. I think we're at 3 inches here. I could be wrong, I don't know. I'm not used to working with 3 inches. Even though we're not mulching, it still seems like it's cutting them up into pretty small bits. So at least we got that going for us. Alright, finally out of juice. Finally ran out of juice. So we cut the entire lawn, 6,300. This is 2,000. We did that again, and then one strip. So I would say we are at about, 8,300 square feet. I'm not going to count that strip. So just over 8,000 square feet. I will say, this thing has that supercharge feature where if you're going over taller or thicker grass, it will kind of boost and it'll give it like a supercharge. And it'll just rev it up so that it goes faster and cuts through thicker grass. So if you are cutting overgrown grass and you're using that supercharge feature a lot, you can't control that. It does it automatically, and it's very cool. It's very nice. But if you're doing that throughout the entire mow, the battery will not last as long. So 33 minutes and a little over 8,000 square feet. Those edges. Tight, tall, crispy, crafty. Edging video coming soon. So this thing right here, I mowed my entire lawn. I've got a fence, I've got, you've probably seen it before if you watch my videos. And I edged this, and I still have 3 bars left. That is crazy. I really like this thing. It is quiet, it's light, does a good job, but it's time for a blow job. So I want to introduce you to actually my favorite piece of equipment from this line so far, and that is the blower. Man, this thing really blows. It has 2 features, just like the other, the trimmer and how the mower has a supercharge feature. You pull this handle, and that's the first setting. And then if you want a turbo, which I pretty much use the turbo the whole time, it just gets more power. You squeeze this and then you push this button. So my final thoughts on the entire line, I give it probably an A-. It's not perfect. I'm not sure there is a perfect mower out there, so I'm not going to give it an A+, but I will give it a solid A-. This has the personal pace system that a lot of Toro mowers have, and if you're not familiar with this, basically what it does is it feels your walking speed and it adjusts the pace of the mower to your walking speed. Very leisurely, it's very relaxing, it's very easy to use. One thing that I wish this had was a black bag, because this one is just dirty already after 3 mows using the bagger. And so I'm gonna try to clean that, but not a deal breaker. It doesn't affect the performance of the machine. It's just, I like keeping my stuff clean. I'm kind of OCD about that. If I didn't have any of these other equipment, I would still get this thing right here. This thing's awesome. It's perfect for if you have a small property like I do, blowing off your driveway or sidewalks. It is perfect for blowing out your garage. And I think you could do small leaves. Like I could probably maybe get away with doing leaves here in my lawn, but if you're doing big leaf cleanups, you have a big property and you have a lot of heavy leaves, or if you're doing wet leaves, this is probably not your thing. But if you're just blowing off your sidewalks, grass clippings, things like that, this thing right here is perfect. I love this thing. So lastly, I will say I definitely recommend this. I get asked a lot if this thing... Also, I get asked a lot if this thing could handle a night mow or an early morning mow, like when people are sleeping. I'm not going to answer that yes or no, just because that's so subjective. I can't tell you to go get this and then you buy it and then you say it's too loud to mow at night. That's completely your call. I will say, however, I would mow at night with this. Need some practice with this because I'm no good at trimming bush.